Close your eyes. Start to deepen the breath. Relax the shoulders. Relax the belly. Feel the air on your skin. And then with your eyes closed, you're going to picture a flame. Fire, not wild, not consuming, but steady. Radiant, unmoving, center of a storm. Feel the warmth of this fire that surrounds your body. We've been on a journey together, not just through poses, but through stories and through archetypes, through energies that live deep inside us all. In week 1, we met the warrior, courage embodied, devotion in action. And we remembered that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, keep going, when everything inside you wants to give up. In week 2, we softened into compassion, cracked open the heart, and let the breath move where words couldn't. We listened to love, not the easy kind, but the kind that roots itself in truth. Last week we found balance between stillness and movement, between wisdom and wonder. We practice holding contradictions with grace, grounded like the tree, clear-eyed like the eagle. And now we arrive here. This is the week of transformation, of letting go, of becoming something new. Tonight we call in the myth of the phoenix, the one who rises not in spite of the fire, but because of it. So as you breathe now, I invite you to feel into that quiet flame within you. The one that knows what must be released and what is ready to rise. This is not about pushing. This is about surrendering to your own becoming. Let your breath carry you into the ashes. Let your presence become the spark. And let whatever needs to burn, burn. Because on the other side of this is a version of you waiting to rise. You're ready. Gently open the eyes. We're going to do some salutations with our legs in mountain. You're just going to bend your knees. And your hands can come to the back of your thighs or the top of your shins, whatever's more comfortable. Then on an exhale, you're going to tuck and you're going to round the spine. Press the back of your spine towards that back wall. Extend the arms, chin to chest. Then on an inhale, rise up, nice and tall, one vertebrae at a time. Pull yourself forward like you're trying to pull yourself between your legs, while at the same time drawing your elbows back behind you, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Gazing up as far as you like. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, lift. Keep going with your own breath. Take your time. Remember, you're always starting the movement at the base of the spine and ending at the head, whether you're exhaling or you're inhaling. Inhaling and arching. Exhaling and rounding. Just a couple more. We're going to return back to center. Here comes that exhale. And we're going to come into cat pose, so on our hands and our knees. And we're going to start to warm that fire in the belly. So instead of a salutation, we're going to do an abdominal rotation. So you're going to first press your ribs over to the right side, feel your shoulder move. Then you're going to relax the belly down, kind of like you're doing a salutation. Completely relax it, let the back arch naturally. Then you're going to press your ribs over to the left side. Then you're going to come back to the back, and like we did before, a little arch. So you're going to keep going in each direction. And you're going to start to just make it a little smoother, making sure you're hitting all the areas, contracting and relaxing the belly. Feeling that heat begin to rise in the belly and the spine. Warming up all those ribs. Then we're going to come back to center, back to neutral spine. We're going to start slowly again on the left side. So you're going to move the ribs to the left. Then you come forward, drop the belly, move the ribs to the right. Coming straight back into a nice little round. Keep going. Slow it first, and then when you're ready, smooth it and speed it up. Remember your breath. Last one. And release. You're going to walk your hands out. We're going to come into stretching cat. So you're just going to walk your arms out and you're going to release your chest and your head. You're just stretching the entire underside of the armpits, back of the arms. Remember your breath. And you're going to rise up one vertebrae at a time. You're going to turn yourselves around and come onto your backs. Your first Shavasana. Relaxing the body. You're going to bring that picture, that flame back. Remember, this flame is steady, not wild. This flame now is Sita. She is not just a queen, and she is not just a beloved of Rama, but a woman made of devotion, so true, so fierce, even the gods bowed to her stillness. She was taken from her home and held captive by darkness, told to abandon herself. She didn't. Sita didn't fight with fists. She fought with remembrance, with the fire that lived quietly in her chest, refusing to go out. When at last she was free, they asked her to prove her purity. She didn't argue. She stepped into the flames, not to suffer, not to please, but because she knew. She knew who she was, and that knowing made her untouchable. And now imagine, instead of a flame, it was an ocean. Sita stepping into waves of heat and light, and letting them wrap around her like truth, letting herself be held by water and fire at once. You carry that same alchemy, the deep ocean of emotion and the steady blaze of devotion. In camel pose, you'll step into your own sacred center, a fire that doesn't burn, and the wave that doesn't drown. You let your chest lift like Sita, standing tall in her knowing. You let your heart open, not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Spine curved, not to collapse, but to bow in reverence for the love that lives within you, despite everything. Let the breath soften your edges. Let your truth rise, not loud, but clear. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are here to embody it. In a moment, we will rise. We will open. And you will lean back into the fire and the water and the self who has always known. A deep breath in. When you're ready, you're going to roll onto your side. And you're just going to come up to your hands and knees, back into cat. Then you're going to come all the way up into kneeling. So for camel, there's a few different degrees, so we'll go through all those. So the easiest, most accessible first degree camel is the hands are going to come to the top of the glutes, right where you would stick your hands in your pockets. And you're going to pull the elbows back behind you. And then when you're ready here, you're going to lift the chest nice and proud. And you're going to lean back just a little, lengthening the entire front side of the body. Now if you feel comfortable here, this is super easy. The next degree of camel would be hands on the feet or hands on the ankles. The hands will come down to the feet, and then you'll push your hips forward and lift the chest. Either way is great. I have a crappy shoulder, so this feels nice for me. Just make sure you keep lifting that chest, arching that back. Sure, there's a little tension in the glutes to protect the lower back. You're going to close the eyes. And you're going to practice that pectoral breath that we've practiced before, breathing high into the chest. Remember, with every inhale, you're feeling that chest expand. Maybe the shoulders lift a little. Chest expands. Every exhale, feel that chest collapse, the shoulders relax maybe a little. Keep squeezing those elbows back behind you, pressing the hips forward. Three more breaths. When you've finished your third breath, you're going to turn yourselves around, coming back onto your backs. Back into Shavasana. Then bringing your attention inward, noticing the effects of camel pose. Noticing your breath, your heartbeat. Now, travel past the surface of the sea to the place deeper down where sound becomes song and stillness speaks louder than motion. Here in the belly of the sea swim the dolphins, not just creatures, but guardians. In Hindu mythology, they are said to be connected to the river goddess, Gunga, symbols of grace, purity, and intuitive intelligence. They are protectors of sacred waters, carriers of messages from the unseen. And long ago, it was believed that dolphins knew the language of the cosmos. But they guided lost souls back to shore, not by force, but through vibration, through rhythm, through sound. They didn't push, They called. And now, here you are, resting before standing at the edge of a pose that asks you to trust something deeper than thought. Your own inner sonar. Dolphin pose is not about forcing your way into shape. It's about sensing your way through the current. It's about strength rooted in surrender. Structure born from softness. Power that moves with the flow, not against it. As we will place our forearms down on the mats, I want you to imagine your elbows anchoring to sacred ocean floor. And as our hips rise, let them rise like a dolphin breaching, not to escape, but to reveal. Bridge surface and depth. Your head will hang relaxed, not in shame, but in reverence. You'll let your breath ripple through your spine like waves rolling through water. This is not a test of control. This is a conversation between you and your sea within, between form and feeling, between gravity and grace. Dolphin teaches us you can be strong without force. You can be focused without tension. And you can lead yourself home by listening inward. Take a deep breath in. When you're ready, you're going to roll onto your sides again. We're going to come back into cat. I'm going to start from there, moving into dolphin. So for dolphin, you're going to come onto your forearms. And you're going to make sure that your forearms are shoulder width distance apart. And your hands can either be flat or you can clasp them, whatever feels better to you. You can play around with it once we get in dolphin. And you're going to make sure that your shoulders stay in alignment with your elbows. So your shoulders aren't back and your shoulders aren't over your elbow. It's just right in alignment with your elbow. Now we're going to go through different degrees of dolphin too. So first degree is kind of like a plank. You're going to stick your legs out. And you're going to lift your hips up. You're going to press into those arms, get your hips up. So this is like first degree dolphin. Still a lot of energy in the arms. Now, second degree dolphin, you're going to step the feet forward. So it's like you're doing a downward dog, but your arms are in a forearm. Or your forearms are on your mat. And you're going to press your heels down. A lot of stretch in the backside of the legs. Lots of weight in the arms. And you're going to keep that head relaxed. You're going to breathe, use your breath. Two more breaths, you're almost there. When you've completed that last breath, slowly release out. Coming out, back onto your backs. Back into your Shavasana. Connecting back with Pratyahara. practicing that introspection, feeling the effects of dolphin pose. Now connecting to the roar of waves. And then the moment the waves soften. The moment the wind has run out of breath. And the ocean exhales and ripples surrender. This is the moment, Kapota, the sacred dove, the winged messenger who carries peace in her beak and stillness in her bones. In ancient stories, when the world was flooded with chaos, when the waters rose too high and washed away the known, it was not a hero with a sword who brought salvation. It was the dove. She flew into the vastness, into the wet unknown, not to escape, but to seek. And when she returned, she did not scream. She carried only a branch, a quiet sign that the earth was still beneath it all, that a new beginning was waiting. Kapota is not the energy of pushing through. She is the energy of yielding into trust. In Pigeon Pose, you become the soft-winged prophet. You land, stop flying, and you rest your belly against the earth, not in defeat, but in devotion. There is no battle here. No rush, just the body, the breath, and the gentle unwinding of all that you carried too long. Your hips will open like the feathers loosening after flight, and your chest falls toward the ground like a heart finally releasing its armor. Kapota teaches us that surrender is not weakness. It is grace in motion. It is trusting the ground again after being up in the air for far too long. And maybe that's your peace. Not the absence of pain, the choice to finally land. A deep inhale. And when you're ready, roll onto your side. We're going to come back to our hands and our knees, set up for pigeon. And you may want your block if your hips are a little tight today. Just nearby you, somewhere you can grab. So you're going to bring your right knee up to your right elbow and slide it up there. Then you're going to turn that foot towards your left elbow or wrist. Then you're going to scooch this leg back. Now this is where you can stick your block right underneath this hip. And you're going to come all the way up. Once you're there, you're going to stretch the front side of your body, stretch into that hip just for a moment. Now remember, you can use your block on any side setting, low, medium, high. Be a little extra balance. And then you're going to slowly walk yourself down where we're releasing into this pose. And you can be on your arms, your forearms. You can come down onto the tops of your hands. You can relax your head wherever you can be. And while you're here, if it feels good, you can rock that hip back and forth. That will kind of add to the opening of that hip if it feels really, really tight. There's a lot of stretching in that hip, and the glute, and that front side of your thigh. Nice deep belly breaths. Three more breaths. When you completed your third breath, you're going to slowly come out. Take your time. So you're going to come back into cat. It's going to feel very good to switch sides. So now the left knee comes towards the left wrist. You're going to turn that left foot up towards your right wrist. Then scooch that leg back as far as is comfortable. And stick your block underneath that thigh if you need to. Remember, you want to sit up all the way. Stretch the front side of that body. And when you're ready, all the way down as far as is comfortable. You can rock that hip side to side. That feels good. Coming back to those low abdominal breaths. Two more breaths. Coming up when you're ready. Gently coming up. Move into cat first, and then you can turn yourselves around. Coming into your Shavasana again. Noticing the effects. Pigeon. Now as you lay here, begin to drift beneath the surface of yourself. Imagine the quiet that lives deep at the bottom of the ocean. Where time slows and movement coils like a mist. There, resting along the seafloor, is the serpent, Vasuki. Sacred, ancient, vast. He has waited lifetimes, not with hunger, not with haste, but with knowing. In the old stories, the gods and demons joined forces, twisting Vasuki around Mount Mandara, using her as a living rope to churn the ocean of milk in search of Amrita, the nectar of immortality. But Vasuki did not resist. She knew her power wasn't in struggle, it was in surrender, in letting herself be part of something greater, and becoming the force that made transformation possible. Yogis believe this same serpent lives at the base of your spine. This serpent is called Kundalini. It's coiled and waiting for the moment you're ready to shed what's no longer true. To rise, to remember, to transform. Cobra Pose is not just a stretch. It's a surfacing. Your spine is the wave, curving and cresting with each breath. Your ribs expand like the tide, gently parting for what's to be born. There's no need to force your way up. You rise naturally, like the serpent lifting from the depths, not to strike, but to see clearly. And with each breath, shed another layer, an old identity, or an outdated fear, a skin that no longer fits your becoming. You'll let yourself rise, not as someone proving, but as someone remembering that power can be silent, slow, and sacred. Take a nice deep breath in. When you're ready, you're just going to roll over onto your belly. We're going to start from our bellies. I'm going to give you some options again. So easy cobra, kind of like our dolphins. Our elbows are in alignment with our shoulders. Our wrists are going to be in alignment with our elbows though, so instead of turning in, it's going to be a nice 90-degree, fingers spread wide. Relax the legs. You're going to press the chest forward. You're going to pull the shoulders back. Gazing up as high as you like. So this is easy cobra. Regular cobra. Just going to lift through the arms. The elbows can stay bent. And strengthen the arms. And you're going to look at the inside of your elbows. And you're going to make sure that they are turned out. Fingers spread wide. Then you're going to relax the belly. And you're going to pull the chest forward again. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Gaze up. Either cobra. Be sure to keep your ears away from your shoulders. Three more breaths. You're ready. You're going to release. Coming back onto your backs into Shavasana. Noticing the effects of cobra. Noticing what muscles feel activated. What muscles feel relaxed. Where there's maybe more energy in certain parts of the body. Now, we're going somewhere ancient. Not forward, but inward. Towards the place you began. In yogic mythology, there's a word for this sacred place. Garbha. It means womb. And not just the womb of a mother, the womb of the universe. The one that held the very first breath before there was breath. Before the stars were born, before the gods had names. Before your name meant anything at all. You were held not as an identity or form, but as essence. And in this moment, as we prepare to fold inward into this next pose, you return to that original water, that sacred sea within the sea. Now imagine yourself curled, not just on a mat, but in the shell of something divine. Conch tucked in coral, a pearl forming slowly and softly without force. You don't need to explain why you're tired. You don't need to earn this rest. Garba, she already knows. She gathers your edges in the dark like waves gathering back the tide. She does not ask you to become anything, only to let go. In child's pose, you are not hiding. You are not small. You're returning to the most ancient sanctuary, your own self, before the world told you who to be. We let our forehead bow like an offering, letting your back soften like seaweed moving with the tide. You're safe, cradled, becoming. Take a nice deep inhale. And rolling onto your side when you're ready. And we're going to come back to our hands and knees. And for child's pose, your knees are going to go wider than your hips. And your big toes are going to touch behind you. And you're going to sit back on your heels. Now you can place a block right underneath your hips. You would like to be higher. But if you can, you're going to relax your booty back onto the tops of your heels. And then you're going to extend these arms out. You're going to walk them out. And you're going to keep walking and pulling, lengthening that space underneath the armpits again. And you're going to bring your head down either to the side, forehead in the middle, whatever's more comfortable. And you're going to relax the belly. Relax the shoulders. And you're going to practice a lower lumbar breath. So this time you're going to focus on the space right about the base of your spine, at your tailbone. Just in that lower end of your spine. And as you practice this lower lumbar breath, every inhale should be able to feel your tailbone lift and rise just a little. It does this naturally anyways when we breathe. And then on an exhale, feel that lower back begin to round under, relaxing to the floor. Exhaling all that air out. And inhaling and lifting again. Just feeling the natural waves of the spine. Three more breaths. When you're ready, rising up one vertebrae at a time. In your time, slowly come out. When you're ready, turning yourselves around, coming into your final Shavasana. Just know, this is not a finish. This is a dissolving. Sacred, slipping back into the waters you came from. Tonight we meet Shakti, not as a woman, not as a goddess on a pedestal, but as the current that flows through all of us. The river behind every inhale. The quiet behind every thought. The spark in your spine. And the hush in your heart. She is not feminine or masculine. She is primordial, meaning before time, before thought, before story. She is what moved through your strength and your softness, your courage and your surrender. She has taken many forms in this class. Serpent rising, the dove melting, the dolphin navigating the depths. She's been with you every pose. And now, she brings you to rest. This pose, Shavasana, it means corpse. You are not dying. You are releasing, like mist, like salt in water. You are not your body right now. You are not your story. You are not your effort. You are the ocean underneath it all. Still, endless, alive. Let your breath rise and fall like the tides. Let your weight sink. Let your mind float, loose, untethered, free. Nothing to fix. Only this sacred pause. A remembrance that the pulse of life, Shakti, isn't something you earn, something you are. You are not a man resting. You are not a woman resting. You are a soul, a wave returning home to its source. And when you rise again, you'll rise not as someone new, It is someone deeply, fully remembered. So rest now. Rest like the ocean rests when no one is watching. Rest like you belong to something ancient and wise. Because you do. And because you are. Start to deepen the breath. Bring your awareness back to the room, back to your body. Beginning to introduce some movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe rocking the head from side to side, massaging the back of the scalp. And when you're ready, rolling onto your side. Taking your time. Using this moment to bless your body and to bless your own stories etched in your bone. Ones that have shaped you, stretched you, and still here you've arrived. Soft, pliable, and open. Bless the quiet moments like these you've carved out for yourself. Your choice to show up today, not just for the practice, but for the presence, and for that sacred pause in life that rarely slows down. Bless your unfolding and the way you've expanded, contracted, and returned with more grace and beauty than you give yourself credit for. Take a deep breath in. I invite in life. I invite in love. And I welcome the support and guidance necessary for my spiritual growth and success. And with every heartbeat, I affirm my commitment to myself, my journey. And so it is.